This is NWCN. Northwest news and weather 24 hours a day. Now, Northwest News Weekend.
A deadly crash in California. A Boeing 777 crashed upon landing at San Francisco Airport, then burst into flames. Many survivors used the emergency slides and ran to safety. Travelers in the Northwest heading that way today are now stranded at airports across the region. And Boeing 777 workers in Washington are stunned, wanting to know what went wrong. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Fryer. The Asiana Airlines jet crashed late this morning. More than 300 people were on Flight 214 coming in from Seoul, South Korea. Right now, the death toll stands at 2, and the fire department now says only one person is unaccounted for. Martha Shade has the very latest from San Francisco.
Asiana 214 Heavy, San Francisco Tower. Asiana 214 Heavy, emergency vehicles are responding. We have everyone on their way.
What appears to be the control tower speaking with the pilot of Asiana Flight 214. Plumes of smoke billow out of the roof of the Boeing 777 after the plane landed on the tarmac at San Francisco International Airport. Elliot Stone was on board during the terrifying ordeal and recalls the harsh impact.
And then just boom, the back end just hits and flies up in the air, and everybody's head goes up to the ceiling.
One man saw the whole thing from his hotel window.
It looked normal at first. It was taking the same angle that they always come in, like this, and then the wheels were down, and then I knew something.
More witnesses say parts of the plane were breaking off at touchdown. The aircraft rocked and then began to spin. Passengers on board during the crash got off the plane using evacuation slides extending from one side of the aircraft. Fire crews were on site to manage the flames that charred holes through the top of the aircraft. Debris settled from the water's edge along San Francisco Bay up to where the plane eventually came to a stop. Investigators are searching for answers, but a national security official says there are no signs of terrorism.
We will be looking at everything. Everything's on the table at this point. We have to gather the facts before we reach any conclusions.
Multiple Bay Area hospitals are treating those who were injured during the crash landing. I'm Martha Shade reporting.
We can tell you in all 181 crash victims have been transported to San Francisco area hospitals. Here is a look at a woman on a stretcher being brought into San Francisco General. That hospital is caring for 34 patients, with 5 of them now in critical condition. This hospital is using its disaster training plan to deal with the large number of injured patients. The accident is having a ripple effect at airports all over the world, including right here in the Northwest. At SeaTac Airport, some passengers remain stranded. Others were actually diverted there. King 5's Mitch Pittman has their stories.
The aviation industry is so tightly connected that even the smallest disruption can cause a domino effect. So when a major West Coast hub shuts down, passengers here at SeaTac get hit hard.
Within an hour of the plane crash in San Francisco, the delays and cancellations started coming.
It's a little disconcerting. Oh, we're being delayed because of a plane crash. Okay.
Passenger after passenger stood in line, waiting to find out when they might get to San Francisco.
That's where I'm heading. I'm not heading there anymore. Now I'm off to San Jose. And I'm grateful for it.
Airlines were doing their best to divert flights to other Bay Area airports. While many flights to SFO never got off the ground, at least one from SeaTac made it almost all the way there.
I would say we were probably 30 minutes from landing when the captain said, there's been an accident at SFO. You probably all know more than us because it's on the news. We check the news. Everyone gets a little quiet.
A full Virgin America flight turned around mid-flight and came back here, leaving those passengers wondering where to next.
As far as we know, all the flights are booked through Tuesday at least, so we might be sticking around or flying somewhere else.
Beyond the inconvenience of canceled flights, there's the uneasy feeling of what just happened.
I love flying, but when you hear there's a plane crash, especially at the place that you're supposed to be flying into right now, it doesn't feel very good getting off the ground.
Landing always is my least favorite part. And I just hope that lightning doesn't strike twice in the same day.
But most of all, people hope and pray for the safety of their fellow flyers.
That's the scary part, you know. We'll get home when we get home. We're lucky.
There have also been 6 international flights diverted here to SeaTac. Those airlines are still trying to figure out what to do with those passengers. At SeaTac, Mitch Pittman, King 5 News.
We're getting more Northwest reaction from Everett, Washington, where the Boeing 777 is actually made. King 5's Zahid Arab has more from a local pilot who is stunned by the crash.
Behind me is where the 777s are built. Everett is really the heart of the operation. And with so many people in this community connected to the company, what happened today hurts, especially for the people that helped build it. Amy Bellisheim helps design and install the central computer in the aircraft. She's also a new pilot. Before her flight this afternoon, she couldn't help but watch some of the crash coverage. The tail torn off and the parts of the plane charred is shocking.
Well, when you see that image, you think, how the heck did anybody survive that?
Other members of the community up here have been glued to their TVs and smartphones all day watching for updates. In Everett, Zahid Arab, King 5 News.
Stay with NWCN for continuing coverage on the Boeing 777 crash out of San Francisco. You can find more information at NWCN.com and on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Other news now here in the Northwest. Gresham police are asking for your help in tracking down whoever shot 2 people, killing one of them. Authorities say it happened Friday night at Red Sunset Park. News Channel 8's Wayne Haverly has more.
Bang, 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 bang.
Fireworks had been exploding, but neighbors knew the 5 rapid bangs were not fireworks. Maria Rios and her kids heard the shots, which sounded like they came from the basketball court area. They say everyone was in a panic.
There's people running, you know, a guy with his baby, and so I took the kids.
When officers arrived, one man was dead from gunshot wounds. Police say another man was hit in the leg and is being treated at Mount Hood Medical Center. He is expected to recover.
I just hope it's not one of my friends, you know.
Oscar Rios plays basketball here nearly every day and says Red Sunset Park has always been a peaceful, family-oriented place.
Kids could have got shot, you know. That's not right. And that's my main concern is my little cousins right now and my friends.
Frank Thomas came to the park after hearing about the shooting. He brings his kids here several times a week and wanted to make sure it was still a safe place.
Where you have the pond, you have the water flow, you have the environments of the ducks, and you know, you really feel a friendly environment out here. And I wanted to make sure that didn't change.
It's very clean, very family oriented. Picnics, weddings, birthdays. It's a well-used park.
However, it's not well used on this day. Following the deadly violence, there are no picnics, no kids playing on the swings. Many neighbors are rattled and won't feel comfortable until police track down the killer.
Kids have fun here, but it's scary now, you know, not let them out at night.
Gresham police say they don't know if it was a gang-related shooting. The names of the victims have not yet been released. Firefighters are trying to gain the upper hand on a wildfire burning near Lake Chelan, Washington. The 25-mile fire near Manson has burned more than 1,500 acres. More than 250 firefighters are battling the flames, and helicopters are dropping water. Authorities evacuated a campground and are putting nearby communities on standby for evacuation.
The smoke was pretty thick and we could see the glow of the fire, and it was just happening. So the information was pretty sketchy on, do we hook up the boat? Do we leave? What do we do? Yeah.
So far, no structures have burned. The fire is 10% contained. In Alaska, a massive wildfire is burning near Eielson Air Force Base. The Stewart Creek fire is threatening more than 900 structures near the base and in the towns of Two Rivers and Pleasant Valley. An evacuation watch is in effect. About 400 crew members are fighting the fire, which has now burned more than 32,000 acres. To eastern Oregon, where crews are working to fully contain the Owyhee fire. Now that the fire is 95% contained, crews are mostly focusing on mopping up. Since lightning sparked the fire on Monday, it has charred more than 46,000 acres. Tuition-free college? It might not be as far-fetched as it sounds, where the Pay It Forward plan is gaining traction in the Northwest. Coming up, we'll be back with a look at your complete forecast. You're watching Northwest News Weekend.